Hello. Welcome, guys. We have breaking news today. CCMMA mega alert. Light heavyweight champion Jamal Hill has to relinquish his title. Breaking today. He ruptured his Achilles
His
tendon. And unfortunately, he's going to be out for a long ass time.
Now, how did he do it, Kyle?
I'd like to say training or in a fight, but no. And it was in a celebrity basketball game with DC. Really not the way you want to go out as champ.
Not at all.
But it is what it is. I like Jamal Hill, so this makes me sad, but
So I think that means that Alex Pereira versus Jan Blachowicz, that's for the title now?
it should be, I think.
I think that's what
I don't know if it
I
is,
think that's what they're going with. I believe that's what they're going to
because
do.
that makes would that bump that up to that's the co-main, correct? Would that bump it above Dustin and Justin?
No, because that's for the BMF. That's a whole separate thing.
Yeah, but that light heavyweight's a real title. I'm just saying. BMF is given to the BMF is the gatekeeper championship.
Okay. All right. We're gonna start like this. We're gonna start like this.
Am I wrong?
Who was the last BMF title for? What was the last fight?
George Masvidal.
Jorge.
And Nate Diaz.
Those two aren't BMFs?
They're BMFs, dude.
Okay. So I think it's just a whole separate category. You have Justin and Dustin. Some of the baddest BMFs. The BBMFs.
And they're bad dudes. They are bad motherfuckers.
You act like either of them
But are they world champions?
You act like either of them. Ooh.
They can. They can definitely fight for it.
The real title. They could fight for the real title tomorrow and be a contender.
They could. They could be a contender.
Okay.
I'm not saying they're not.
Sorry to Jamal Hill. RIP to his HLS.
Yeah. Dude, ever since John Jones left the light heavyweight division, it's just been a shit show.
I agree, because John Jones,
it's ridiculous.
He solidified that division for what?
It's cursed.
13 years or something like that?
He did, but like the circumstances in which the two previous champs had to get rid of their belt is kind of weird.
So, okay. Can I ask you a question?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Would you rather in one division have a round robin where everybody fights each other? It's this guy beat this guy, but the MMA math doesn't make sense, and this guy's fighting this guy and he beat him, but he didn't beat him. Or would you rather have one champion like an Anderson Silva, like a George St. Pierre, like a John Jones, run the division for years?
No, this juggling is entertaining. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The juggling is very entertaining. Makes for good pay-per-views. What was the name of the guy that fought Jan last? Magomed Ankalaev, I think.
Ankalaev, yeah. Abraham Lincoln guy.
Abraham Lincoln looking dude. So like he's got an argument for it. Jan's got an argument for it. Jamal and Yuri obviously have arguments when they get back for it.
Mm-hmm.
Pereira, he's probably going to get a shot.
Is he? I think if Pereira, if he wins at UFC 300, like they're gonna do that fight. Not if he wins at UFC 300, but
I see what you're saying.
If Alex wins UFC 300,
is
gonna be the most stacked card. I'll buy it. You heard it here first. I'll buy that card.
That Izzy Pereira for the light heavyweight championship would be
massive,
nuts.
And you don't even know who else they're gonna put on that card. Moving on. I feel like
we'll get to
the card
the bread and butter here.
this past weekend at UFC 290. Now, you and I, we made picks, controversial or not.
We made some picks.
I labeled this segment as picks gone wrong.
This is I did worse than you.
Let me pull up the card. So the card is pulled up. We have let's start from the bottom up, right? We have Robbie Lawler versus Nico Price. Now,
that was a great way to start the show.
As I'm pulling up the stream, I paid for him. As I'm pulling up the stream and fighting, like he's introducing the fighters. A little bit of a glitch. It catches back up. Nico's on the floor.
Oh no! That's really sucks.
And so I
freaked out, dude.
I sat down. I got my food because I'm like, come on, babe, let's go sit down. It's starting. Like
it's happening.
It's not even 10 o'clock. I sit down with my food. A little bit of a glitch. Okay, refresh. Let's go. That was my reaction. I go, like, it was one of those, like, without the O happening. So when I look at this fight, Nico Price is a dog, dude. And Robbie Lawler is he's the master dog. Whatever you want to call him, he's the big dog on campus. He's the junkyard dog. Whatever you want to say.
The big dog.
The big dog on campus. That guy. He collar tied him. Hook, uppercut.
Yeah, it was like
hook.
It looked so fast in real speed, but then when they broke it down, it was like 4 or 5 just.
Can I be honest?
Clean shots.
Can I be honest? Yeah. They were clean.
You need to be.
They were clean. Oh, I do need to be, for sure. They were clean, but I go, That's all I did. I didn't question anything too much. But I go,
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nico is a dog, but he has a very checkered fight.
Pass?
He's been in some fights where he's like, he looks really good, and then he looks like,
Say it.
Do you see him getting cut after this?
Questionable.
You think he has another fight in the UFC?
Ooh, yeah. He's got a name. He definitely has a name.
A name.
But
Fair.
The last thing to go, Father Time, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, the last thing to go is power. Your reaction time, your speed. The last thing to go is power. And Robbie Lawler, that guy has power.
Who has it?
Power.
He can still fight.
Definitely.
I get why he's had the longest career imaginable, but
22 years.
So crazy. Just crazy, man.
Did you see the ceremonial highlight reel?
Oh yeah. He got a little teared up, dude.
Me too, dude.
It's emotional.
Oh, what are they doing to me? That being said, shout out to Robbie Lawler. Shout out to Nico Price for being a contender, for being a go-getter. Thank you for taking this fight. Yada yada. Do we go further up the card?
Yeah, let's go.
The next one is No Bickle.
No Bickle.
That's his Instagram name. Bo Nickel.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing. Yeah, I remember seeing that now.
Bo Nickel versus Val Woodburn. Now, this is breaking news as well. We had an interview with Val last week.
Yes, we did. It was a very good interview.
Short,
but after watching it back, I could see why he lost. He's a little out. he wasn't all there in the interview. So
Uh,
I really,
he
yeah,
actually refused a follow up interview this week. I don't know if you know this. He
can
refused
you
a follow
blame
up interview.
him?
He goes, I'm not feeling it. I'll go, okay, that's cool. That was another. So the Robbie Lawler knockout was 38 seconds. I want to say the Bo knockout with hands. He didn't. You're talking about
Yeah,
the decorated wrestler of Bo Nickel. We talked about that last week.
yeah.
How many
Didn't
takedowns?
even go for a
How many
no,
takedowns did you see?
0. He pieced him up.
Boom, 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 boom. Now, not only
He
do
hurt that man quick.
now you're talking about Bo Nickel. I get it. He went to such and such college. He has this decorated wrestling background. He knocked out the Combat Night Tallahassee champ. What does that do for Bo's career, Kyle?
I think that really that fight, being Combat Night Champ Tallahassee, that's a star making performance right there.
Okay.
We talk about Izzy, we talk about people like Alexander Volkanovski
Sure.
knocking off Tallahassee's champ. I put you right up there with them.
Where else do you put him? Combat Night Tallahassee?
I think Bo should be pound for pound number 1 after that performance.
Now that's
It's Tallahassee.
that's a wild accusation, but I'm gonna have to agree. I'm telling you right now, from the Couch Casuals page, if Bo Nickel is not pound for pound number 1 as of next week, I'm gonna riot.
It's bullshit.
You're gonna Robbie riot.
Bullshit. Hey, Robbie Riot right here.
Moving on, let's go back to the card. Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. That's a war that.
What a fight. What a fight.
That's a war that I didn't see as being a war, but it was a sleeper
I
fight.
didn't either.
It was a sleeper
It
fight.
was so good.
Now, let me ask you this. Jalen Turner, I think he's 6'5", 6'6", something crazy like that.
Tall dude.
Why isn't he fighting at 170?
It's a really good question.
Have you seen his fights at 170?
No, I didn't know he fought at 170.
Not the best performances.
Ooh. Ooh.
Not the best. So he fights at 155. Missed weight, 158. Not that bad.
Yeah.
Not that bad. You could have sweat out a little more. You could have stayed in the sauna a little longer. You could have ran
or something.
You could have jumped rope. You could have ran miles. How many times in your life have you cut weight, Kyle?
0.
I've
How
cut
many
weight
times have you cut weight?
twice
What for?
because I wasn't hungry. That's it. That's it. I cut about 11 pounds the first time, 9 pounds the second time, because I was like, let me see if I can do this. Laid on the floor, did the sauna, did everything. Like, okay, how much weight can I lose in 18 to 24 hour, time frame? It's not fun, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone.
No, it sounds miserable.
It sucks because all you want to do is drink. All you want to do is rehydrate. And you're just like when you wake up at 3 a.m. and all you want to do is drink and you can't. No, it's not good. You're literally trying to get the sweat from your face into your mouth. It's a cycle of miserableness.
Yeah.
That being said, what a fight. What a fight.
So good. Jalen cracked him early with that kick.
Did.
I don't know how Dan survived after that, because that kick, you could hear it. It was loud. And I think so Dan ended the fight with a broken arm and something broken in his face, but I don't remember. Orbital. And it had to have been that kick. Cracked him. Dan, what a stud. I casual take on me last week. I said Dan's taking too much damage.
Too much damage.
Damage. I mean, but if you take that kick and go out and win, I saw some comments like Dan's back. Maybe he's back. Maybe this is his like his next rise, start of the rise, or whatever you want to call it.
Sure.
Because that was impressive. That was a good fight.
Great
And he
fight.
pieced Jalen up the rest of it. Like Jalen wins round 1, Dan dominates 2 and 3.
I saw this comment. He goes, okay, I broke my arm. I could be a loser with a broken arm, or I could go out and win and have a broken arm. So, like, that's
Did
what
it say when? Did it say when he broke his arm?
I don't know,
Does
but
anybody know? Did that
slight,
come out?
slight splint, slight break. I've never broken a
Hey,
bone in my life, so I don't
I
know.
haven't either.
I don't know how
I've
severe it
dislocated
is.
things, but I've never broken.
Mm-mm.
Mm, but
So,
what a tough guy.
that being said, great fight. Great.
Dan Bronx Hooker, tough dude,
The
man.
hangman. The hangman.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad. The
Char-
Hangman.
Charles Oliveira is Dubronx.
That's right. Shit, my
You're,
bad. The
hey,
blonde hair.
casual. Fucking
Hey,
Charlie Olives. He
we got
inspires us all.
we got Robert Dubronx Vasquez. Anybody with blonde hair is now Dubronx in my
For-
eyes. Because Charles, I mean, like,
Brittany Dubronx Spears is in the chat.
ooh. But yeah, what a fight.
So
And
that
we got
fight,
another banger
well,
right after it.
that fight with Jalen and Hooker turned it up to the max that we needed to bring in the fellow Robert Whitaker versus Dricus du Plessis.
Robert Whitaker. Now, this fight was also, this was a shocker.
No, you and I, can we just take a second? We owe DDP an apology.
We do.
You first. Let's break this down.
Okay, let me preface by saying the shocking part was the way in which he beat Robert. I'm not as much surprised that he could get the win, but the way he just went out there and dominated, he took Robert down.
So, I'm not going to interrupt you, but I will attest that, like, Yoel Romero, a Olympic level wrestler, couldn't take Robert Whitaker down.
That's nuts.
RW knew the danger that DDP had on the ground. He didn't prepare for that. Did DDP really mix up his strikes as much as a Yoel Romero, or are we looking at another take where we just don't know if Robert Whitaker has what he used to have?
It could be that. Dricus is a violent man.
He's that dude.
This man he's like he's a marauder coming into the cage. He's violent. It's all hell when you're in the cage with him, and he gets it done. The dude's scary fighter. Dude's legit.
He's that dude.
I mean, he's been skyrocketing. 'Cause I remember like roughly a year ago watching him, and he was like pretty lower on the card, and now he's the next contender.
He's the next title fight versus Izzy.
Yeah.
Now, Robert was talking not me, Robert Whitaker was talking all week like, I don't underestimate him. That's the danger that all his opponents get into. Like, he's a contender. He's a dog. Like, I cannot underestimate this guy. If you look at Dricus and you look at Yoel Romero, I'm going to be more scared of Yoel. I don't feel like Robert I don't feel like Robert had that fear of Dricus. What is it, round 2 he got finished? Who's the last person to finish Robert Whitaker? Israel Adesanya.
Yeah.
And then he hit him with the like the machine gun. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen.
The build up for DDP Izzy is going to get nasty.
So that being said, that being said, the fight's over. DDP is getting his interview. Who do they bring in?
The champ. Got to bring the champ in.
If you were
Set
to
this fight
count,
up.
I don't know if you saw or if there were any glitches in your stream and or bought pay-per-view.
Bought pay-per-view. I
Yeah.
bought this one.
Okay, all right. Well, you don't have to lie, but it's okay. How many N-bombs were dropped?
10 plus
As the couch
in a
casuals,
span of 30 seconds.
as the couch casuals, we are neutral on color. I'm half Latino. Kyle is Italian. We don't have any say in the matter. We don't. But if I did a 23andMe and I found out that I had as much as Mike Perry does, I'm dropping that. I'm dropping it all day.
Hey, the interviews with Mike just dropping it with Tyron Woodley crack me up. Anyway, that's something.
What if Dreekus dropped it back?
I would have lost my mind.
What if Dreekus, because you said Izzy dropped it 10 plus times. What if Dreekus dropped it back?
Could you imagine the crowd reaction if Dreekus dropped it? It would be
throwing their hot dogs, throwing their Modelo's. It's Modelo time.
Someone was talking about it, and I don't. This may be completely inaccurate. This is a casual take, but someone was saying in South Africa, obviously that word has almost no meaning.
Sure.
It doesn't mean anything to anybody there. So what if he did? What if he did it just not really thinking? He just dropped it. Well, the memes that have come out of this moment are so funny.
We will get to the memes of the week, but I just want to say sorry. Go ahead.
I know we can't show video memes
yet.
The one I would have chosen, and I don't know if I sent it to you, is Dreekus coming out during that fight to that song. Yeah. That would be so funny.
Moving on, there has been a RR in the past week. Now, go ahead, ask me, Kyle. What is an RR?
What is an RR, Robert?
A Ronda rumor. Oh, it's a triple R
because it's a Ronda Rousey rumor.
It's a Ronda Rousey rumor. Banana. A Ronda
Rousey rumor.
Now, this weekend, this coming weekend, you have Home versus Bohashinia. I don't know what her name is. Bueno Silva, sorry.
There you go. Come on now.
Paulo Costa, Bohashinia, the eraser. Good physique, by the way. Shout out to Paulo Costa for your body.
Shout out Secret Juice.
Oh, shout out to Secret Juice.
There you go.
So Chelsea Chandler comes out. I don't know who Chelsea Chandler is.
I didn't.
She's a UFC fighter. And she's made the accusation that Rowdy Ronda Rousey, however you want to put it, is coming back to MMA in the 145-pound division. Do you know why?
Because there's no one in that division. Ronda is not willing to fight these girls at 135.
Well, she fought Holly Holm. And what happened then?
Yeah, one of my favorite UFC moments of all time is Ronda getting kicked in the right.
Listen.
Going down.
We're not here to be biased, okay? Mama Nunes is gone. And I think that's the reason.
They are her eggs this time.
Her eggs are inside of Nina. All right, John Anik.
Thanks, John. Man, she's coming back to a depleted division that really was only there for Nunes. Come on. This is an attempt at some fame, some extra fame, a little extra clout maybe. This is a weak attempt. If it's 145,
This is a rumor. You haven't heard it from
I know
Ronda
it is.
herself. You haven't heard it from Travis Brown, her husband. Ronda Brown. I don't know what that whole thing is. I don't know. I don't know. This being said, the Ronda Rousey rumor, the Triple R. Do you think that this gets more eyes than her WWE stuff?
Probably.
This is where she comes from.
This is her coming home. You know, this is big. This is a big deal.
Say it again. Say it again.
This is her coming home. Big deal.
Huge deal.
Still hate her.
Why would she come back to the 135-pound division when she could just be the queen of the 145-pound division? Where there's literally, I want to be nice when I say this, no one.
Literally, there are 9 women in the entire division. Let me read some of these names.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Hang on. What are you starting? The top up or the bottom up?
I'm going to start at the bottom because there's I know 2 names on this entire list.
Yeah.
Macy Chiasson, right 1.
Well,
That
okay.
should tell you a lot.
Cool.
Norma Dumont, heard that name.
Heard it.
I've seen maybe 1 fight. All right, we'll go down from there. Carol Rosa. I don't know who that is.
I've heard it, but I'm about to be
She
a
lost.
casual. Go ahead.
She lost to Norma Dumont previously. Joseanne Nunez.
Now, is that the cousin to Amanda or?
Yeah, me. Stephanie Egger. Don't know who that is. Chelsea Chandler. I only know that name because she's the one that dropped the rumor.
For sure.
Ayan Perez. Danielle Wolfe. Zara Dos Santos. And then somebody, a 10th lady, is ineligible for rankings for some reason. Leah Letson. She's 5-2. So make of that information what you will.
There is not a single person outside of you and I that has ever heard of any of these names. So that being said, the bronze medalist, Ronda Rousey, is going to come back and become the 145-pound champion of the world.
Who's she fight? Macy?
Yeah,
Macy Chiasson?
Yeah.
Macy's coming. Her last 3 fights, she's 1-2.
Well, Macy lost versus Irene.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was this meme, and I just want your opinion on it. This is one of the surprise segments. There was this meme. If you had to last, you could either get 100K straight up, or you can get 10 million if you last 15 minutes with a UFC fighter. And that
15 minutes.
Yeah. That was a meme.
Nah. Almost nobody. Nah, dude. I'll take that for.
I commented, "Give me Irene Aldana." This motherfucker. This. We're gonna have a shadow boxing match. Now, I will tag Irene in this video, and I'm not asking her to fly me out. I'm not asking her to pay for anything. I'm just asking her for a chance. And you wouldn't believe the comments. Oh my God, bro, she would piece you up. Or, oh my God, she would do this to you. It's a joke, dude. But
No one knows.
I'm not. And then Eddie Alvarez himself goes, yeah, there are some trash fighters in the UFC. I wouldn't be surprised. So if I'm picking anybody to last 15 minutes with, it's definitely Irene. She's not tapping me. She's not piecing me up too hard. And that's my casual take. That's
A very casual take. You know what? Give me Ronda, dude.
You don't think
Ronda.
judo throws you all over the...
She can judo throw me all she wants.
Are you cutting down to 145?
We're going to make this happen. I'm going to drop them elbows.
In the fighting at 148 because he missed weight.
I look like a shriveled skeleton of myself.
Like growl him or some shit.
Like, oh my God. She just kicks me once and I just crumple due to the lack of
You would like it though, no? That being
getting
said,
crump.
that being said, the triple R, we can put it to bed. I don't know. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, she's so done with the WWE. What is she gonna do next?" It's more likely for a UFC return than her retirement. Just let her go chill, dude. Let her go do her thing.
How old is she? 36.
Too old.
36.
Because you know what she does.
Yeah.
You know exactly what she does if she comes back and wins the title.
Retires?
Takes the gloves off.
Yeah.
Sets him in the ring. I am the greatest female combat sports.
Oh my! If she said that,
I brought the most eyes to women's MMA. Like, she did. She brought the most eyes to women's MMA. Period. What did Dana White say years ago? Women will never fight in the UFC. Even if you count all the highlights of the Holm knockout, the Amanda Nunes knockout, who was a part of that? Ronda Rousey.
Her.
Ronda Rousey. She's brought the most eyes to women's MMA, period. And I'll stand by that as a casual or not.
I mean, that's probably facts. Strictly facts. But Robert, we have 2 more fights to cover. You're gonna
make me cry.
fights.
You're gonna make me cry right now?
We have to do it.
Okay, I'll pull it up.
Brandon Moreno, Alexandre Pantoja.
2.
3.
Well, says 2.
5. 2.5.
Brandon Moreno versus Pantoja, 2.5.
2.5.
For the UFC flyweight title.
Man, this was also a really good fight.
War.
Just a dog fight.
War.
This was a weird fight. This is a weird fight to me. What was that? Never mind. Weird fight. Brandon always... Okay, so my thoughts on the fight were Pantoja, I think, definitely won. I don't think it's questionable. He won more rounds. But when I say that, Brandon at all points felt like he was fresher and less hurt than at Pantoja.
Mm-hmm.
But Pantoja would just get those big moments right near the end of the round.
Getting the back.
Yeah, he would get those big moments that really earned him the win. I mean, it was one of the weirder ones in my head because at any moment I could see Brandon taking the round and then he just didn't.
Mm-hmm. So did you?
That makes sense.
Did you see the judge give him the 4-1? That was out of my no.
Yeah, no.
As much as I love Brandon Moreno, as much as I ride for Viva Mexico, if you're a judge and you give Brandon 4-1, I'm like, well, what are you doing? Now that's a judge. Like, that's a judgment that I would give Brandon because I'm biased. I don't want Pantoja to win. He's Brazilian. No.
Sure.
I'm not racist. I promise. But so the fight happens. Brandon and his jab, the jab. I don't know if you saw how effective the jab was. It was there all night long.
Good.
Pantoja got a knockdown. Maybe 2.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, but definitely 1.
I'll look it up.
Please. And while you're doing that, I will elaborate that Brandon was always there.
Knockdown.
He was always there. He was always clear.
He was always in it. Yeah.
And as aesthetically unpleasing as his face was, he's a dog, dude. He's a dog.
At the end of the fight, if you looked at both fighters, kind of looked at how they were standing, and you didn't see the fight, Hey, that guy Brandon, he won the fight, right? Look at him. He looked fresher. At all points to me, he looked fresher. Pantoja looked like he was holding on for dear life in the later rounds, but it didn't matter because he did. He held on.
Shout out to Pantoja. Has never went
Dog.
past round 3. Has never went past round 3. He fought a 5-round fight against the guy who his last 6 fights has been 5 rounds. So, or 5 or 6. Like, he's been in championship fights. Multiple. Pantoja, this is his first championship fight. He was 5 rounds. Of course he's holding on for dear life. The body triangle, the hooks, the riding his back. Like, he's going to do whatever he can to win. But
I know.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, a lot of fans obviously hate that. And I understand the hate for that kind of stuff. And, but it does, as the rules are, that can win you a round.
So if I'm standing up and you're on my back and I'm backpacking you, you win that round?
Seems that way.
I'm asking you.
I mean, yeah.
That's a level of dominance because you're
let's say
you're my backpack?
Let's say if that's the only thing that happens in a round, right?
Mm-hmm.
The only significant thing that happens in a round. Yeah.
So what if it's like Islam and Volk and I land more strikes than you? You're on my back, but I land more strikes. It gets kind of confusing. It's convoluted.
Judging an MMA round has got to be one of those difficult things to do.
I would rather.
There's so much room for interpretation.
I would rather negotiate with Pawn Stars.
Yeah.
That would be more difficult. All right.
Best I can do is give you 3-2, Pantoja.
Okay. So I want to let you know.
Good fight.
It broke my heart. What a war.
It was.
What an entertaining fight.
Sad.
And to hear.
Love Brandon.
And knew broke my heart. But you know what broke my heart even further? The post-fight interview where Pantoja goes, hang on. He goes, "Do you love me now, Dad? Can I have your love now?" Like in broken English.
I missed that live. I was either talking or doing something. I missed that live. But yeah,
Am I enough sad. Now? Can I have your love now? And that shit. Shout out to Pantoja.
That's crushing. Yeah.
As you sip your cosmic cold
brew. Go to Starbucks. Code CCMMA for your free cold brew. CCMA cold brew.
Oh God. And then we have the main event. We have Volkanovski,
my boy,
versus Yair Rodriguez. Bald boys doing what bald boys do versus the Latinos of the world.
Dude, the bald boys came to show out Saturday.
I had Volk.
My boy Robbie. My boy Volk.
Uh-huh.
Couple baldies.
Just a couple. This guy, Alex, he deserves his spot as pound for pound number 1. Period.
He does.
Period. This guy, he's only getting better. I think I saw this meme where he's looking at his hands, and it's like the ultimate I'm him moment. Because what else does he have left to do? He could go up to 155. He could defend at 145. He's willing to welcome Aljamain Sterling. Those of you who don't know, is the 135-pound champ. He's willing to welcome Aljamain Sterling to the 145-pound division. Bring me any and everybody. And even Dana goes,
bring in the smoke.
Yeah, I mean, he's done everything he possibly could. We're willing to work with him on any and everything that he wants to do.
Yeah. That man's earned it. This dude is a legend. This dude is so good. He can do anything and does it well. 2 losses, 1 questionable.
Sure.
I don't even know what the first one was. I think the first one was like within his first 5 fights.
It's probably some like lower division, like.
It probably was.
Maybe a decision or a submission. Everybody gets caught.
It happens. This dude is such a stud. He's so good. He's so likable. Oh man, what a great fight! Some people, one person, Bilal, remember the tweet Muhammad tweeted, headbutt. Come on, dude. It wasn't changing the outcome of that fight.
Yair is a dangerous player.
Yair's very dangerous.
When
I
it
don't want
com-
to take anything away from
when it
him.
comes to the Taekwondo style, the kicks, the elusiveness, the movement, he was training at the Aztec temples, 10,000
Yes.
feet above sea level or something like that, ground level, sea level. So he was getting the altitude that he needed to have the cardio. And what did Volk do? Volk made him look like an average fighter. And now, go ahead.
I was going to run through some stats for you real quick here.
Go ahead. I'll bring up the card. Stats.
Yair, takedowns, 0 for 0. Alexander, 7 of 12. Yair, significant strikes, 40 to 80. 40 out of 80, sorry. Alexander, 66 for 97. Yair's total strikes, 57 for 103. Alexander landed more total strikes than Yair did through. 149 out of 198 for a 75% accuracy. Like he's just next level.
Let me ask you this. Did he piece him up?
He pieced him up.
Pieced him up.
He pieced him up.
It's not
you're just.
It's not even
Oh
fair.
my god.
It's not even fair.
God. It's not. This dude's special. But he's also got a lot of exciting fight opportunities coming up. Aljamain, Islam again,
Connor.
Tapuria, Connor. You think Connor ever goes to 145 again?
No.
Yeah,
That motherfucker's head's way too big.
Alex could beat Connor at any weight.
165.
165. Bulk wins.
2-minute segment. Speed round. What do you think of Kevin Lee retiring?
Ooh, probably necessary, especially after that loss.
Has fought
2 weeks ago
in the UFC the last 12 years as an MMA fighter. Fought in Eagle FC. Did good against Diego Sanchez. Comes back to the UFC. Has a underwhelming performance. I can't even tell you the guy's name that beat him. Will you look that up real quick?
Yeah, I can look it up.
Okay, look it up. And as you do that, I will talk about Kevin Lee. He took down Tony Ferg, got trapped, and I believe it was a triangle or like this guy. He's so good, and he got to the upper echelon and then just didn't perform the way he needed to.
Yeah. Rinat Fakhretdinov.
Watch your mouth.
I don't know how to say that one. Yeah. This guy, I don't know who that is.
The guy tweeted afterwards. He's like, people say I have boring fights. Now what? I'm like, he shot it on a double leg and you guillotined him to sleep. Well, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The guy is, he's got a good record, 21-1. But not a lot of names on here I know.
Just shout out to Kevin Lee. He's such a good
fighter. Good.
I wish him the best in his post-retirement. I wish him the best in his post-retirement. Have fun working at Popeyes. It's not up to.
Maybe he can get on TikTok with his brother.
His head tattoo is dangerous. His head tattoo is nasty. It's so badass. I would never ever mess with that guy. Moving on. Can we go to the super fight of the week?
We've got, we're eating some crow on a segment we did a month ago.
Can I start?
Of course you can.
I just want to say I'm sorry to Francis Ngannou. I said a couple weeks ago or a month ago that you fumbled the bag, but now you have the biggest fight of all time. against Tyson Fury.
Huge.
He is
Oh my God.
he's the reigning, defending UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Nobody beat him. I mean,
Nobody beat him.
Stipe beat him, but then you saw what Francis did the second time. Learned a couple things from DC, and defended some takedowns. This is boxing, though. As I go back, as I go back to the pick, you have Francis Ngannou, the sitting UFC heavyweight champion, because you can have an interim title, you can have a vacant title. Nobody beat this guy for the UFC championship.
No.
And now he's fighting the greatest the greatest boxing heavyweight champion of the world, dude. Tyson Fury.
It's going to be something.
Oh. Elaborate.
Maybe this is another casual take. I don't even think it's casual. Tyson's winning that fight. But if Francis knocks Tyson out, that could be one of the craziest combat sport moments of all time. It probably would be the most insane.
I'm going to let you in on this. The WBC title is not on the line. So if Francis knocks him out with the shovel uppercut he hit Alistair Overeem with.
Alistair Overeem. He's sends Tyson back flying.
So I would be excited for this fight. I would. But
I am.
No. We've already seen this fight. We've already seen this fight 3 times, right? Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. The big puncher, the right hand, the left hand, whatever it is.
Who is also probably is definitely a better boxer than Francis as well.
100%. This is only going to make MMA look bad. Bad.
It's probably not.
Well, his purse is going to be $8 million plus. Rumored.
Yeah.
I saw a thing that was rumored. The UFC offered him $8 million to fight John Jones. Johnny Bones, he's not going to... Oh, man.
Johnny Bones.
I could only imagine the cuts, the scrapes, the bruises that John Bones Jones would leave on Francis Ngannou. Versus Tyson Fury, you get knocked in the head a couple times, get a nice paycheck, but the bag... I said sorry to DDP. I am so sorry to Francis for saying you fumbled the bag.
A lot of sorries going out in this episode.
Not because you're getting a bigger bag, but because you're only getting the bag that UFC offered you in the first place. And that's all I'll say. I'll ride with that. That's all
that's needed.
No. You wanted what? $36 million? You wanted Canelo money? You wanted Triple G money? You wanted
of course you did.
Gervonta Tank Davis money? You wanted Ryan Garcia money? You wanted Floyd Mayweather money? You're not going to get that. You're not a professional boxer.
Well, how much did Mr. Conor McGregor make against Floyd?
80.
God almighty, dude.
But you're talking about the greatest
Conor.
You're talking about the greatest MMA boxing crossover of all time.
Yeah. The biggest character in UFC history.
So let me ask you this. It might be a surprise question. It might be biased.
I like surprises.
What do you think Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou does for MMA.
You might be right. It could definitely hurt MMA. I do believe a lot of people, well, a lot of MMA fans already know that this could hurt it. The boxing fans who are not necessarily big MMA people will probably look at this as another boxing is better than MMA. That being said, if Francis puts on any sort of decent fight, it could look really well. Not win, just not completely get obliterated. So, I mean,
I think it's bad for MMA.
you might be right. Francis,
I want to issue a public apology to Francis Ngannou. I am so sorry that you got knocked the fuck out, man. You think that
Francis.
we haven't seen this? You think that we haven't seen this before? That we haven't seen Deontay Wilder? Oh my God, the most powerful puncher of all time. He knocked out Tyson Fury, but then, as the Undertaker,
dude rose up from the dead. He's the Gypsy King. He's got magical powers in those hands.
get out of here. You're not him. You're not him.
It could be bad. Trying to see, it's just.
You're going to get pieced up. You're worse than Deontay Wilder. You are not the puncher that you think you are. You're doing it strictly for the money. He's got an amazing story.
He does.
Escaped the African forest or wherever he was so many times. Deontay Wilder has the same power as you. You should have fought Deontay Wilder, and that would have made millions of dollars.
That would have been
via pay-per-view.
Yeah.
This guy.
Could you imagine Francis coming out like he did against Rosenstrike on Tyson, just. And what if he knocked him out? Would be the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
I think it's going to be embarrassing. I think when you do the boxing versus MMA, when you had Conor versus Floyd, I will attest, I will admit, they made the same weight. They understood the rules. Now, Conor rabbit punched him a couple times, but it was a little more even than because Conor's a striker. Conor is the striker. As big as his head is right now, and as big as his body is right now.
God, he is just.
He's so thick. He's
blimped up, dude.
Dun. You have Francis versus Tyson Fury. Those guys, you're talking about the WBC, and the title isn't even on the line. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do if you knock him out? You're the unacclaimed, or you're the, oh, well, I really won the title. But you didn't. You didn't, though.
Win.
It's
doesn't
not in
matter.
your contract. You won $8 million, which is his undisclosed purse.
Good money. Solid money.
That's what the UFC was going to pay him to fight John Jones.
I know.
I'm telling you.
Man.
I'm telling you.
What are you going to do?
So you could get paid $8 million. $8 million. Kyle, how many times have you been paid $8 million?
Once.
Okay, cool. So he's financially solidified for the rest of his life. I've never been
Zero.
paid. Well,
me. All my earnings.
No, you did an FHA loan and you had the fourplex that you rented out. So
the Ingles money really stacked up as well.
That's when you had hair, though.
I did have hair. Got a little bit of hair right now. Got to shave.
I like that. I like that though.
I like the little. I'm digging Robert DuBronx over here.
DuBronx, Robert DuBronx
Robbie
Vasquez.
Robbie DuBronx.
That being said, this guy has notoriously pissed me off. I would have rather him fought Deontay Wilder in the most American versus African fight of all time, because I feel like this is going to be a Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder 4. I mean, what does he have? One big punch. He's like Logan Paul.
One big punch. One lucky punch.
One lucky punch.
All it takes, one lucky punch.
That's not how boxing works. It's not. And that's all I'll say about that.
Well,
And
I think that might wrap our show up today.
I think that's the end of the Couch Casuals podcast.
Great show again, as always.
As much as I've loved the time that I've had with you and the segments that we've had, I think it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye. Farewell to you, my friend.
For now, guys. This isn't forever.
Of course not. We could do
We
it
made it
next
sound
week.
a little bit like this forever.
I'm sorry to Francis because
Sorry, Francis.
you got knocked the fuck out, man.
Sorry, Dan. I didn't think you had it. We had a lot of casual takes.
And that's why we're the Couch Casuals. That's
The couch casuals. Look at these. So white you can't even see, dude.
we're white, and we're right. You know what I'm saying? That being said,
See you, folks.
we love you. We're the Couch Casuals. I'm your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez, and this is my lovely, beautiful
Host Kyle Diorio.
and we'll see you later, okay?
Peace.
Bye.